Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to look at some top tips to help you increase those sales, increase those profit margins and be successful on Amazon. So if you're new here, my name's Emma, this is Destination FBA and I sell on Amazon via the Amazon FBA program. Now I've been doing this since the beginning of January 2021 and I've been sharing this journey since the end of last year. So these videos I upload on a regular basis and it's just to share general advice, knowledge, hints and tips, things that I pick up on my own journey that may help someone else out, especially if you are new to selling on Amazon. Now, selling on Amazon can be difficult when you're first setting out because there is just so much information to learn, but there is a lot of free content out there, so use this to your advantage. So lots of great YouTube videos that will teach you step by step and lots of great Facebook communities that you can become a part of. Sharing knowledge and experience is useful to everybody, so ask the questions and help other people wherever you can. Now today I want to share some of my top tips in being successful on Amazon and helping to grow your business. So it doesn't matter if you're a new seller or an experienced seller, these are likely to be the same for everybody. Now firstly, you need to be willing to put in the time and effort to make your business a success. Amazon is not a quick get rich scheme where you're going to be making thousands overnight, so do not go into this with unrealistic expectations. You're going to need to learn all about the business model that you intend to work with. So whether that's retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, wholesale or private label, do your research and know exactly what you're dealing with. As I said before, there are lots of great YouTube videos, there's lots of communities out there, so become a part of these, use this to help you. The more time you put in, the more effort, the harder you work, the more you will get back out. Now my next tip would be to set yourself some goals. So having some goals in mind can just help to keep you focused, it keeps you motivated and it gives you something to work towards. So at the beginning of each year I sit down and I write myself some goals going forward. So some of these are weekly, some are monthly and some are quarterly. And then at the end of each quarter I sit back, I look at previous months and I just see how things have gone for me. So what worked well, what didn't work quite so well, did I hit those goals and is there anything I could have done any differently? Now a great way to write those goals is a technique that I like to use all the time and it's called SMART. Now if you've not heard of this before, it stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant and time bound. So those goals need to be specific. So you need to think about things like what needs to be accomplished, who is responsible for this, and what steps are you going to take to make that happen. Also, what's the reason behind that goal and why is it so important to you? Your goals then need to be measurable. Making your goals measurable will make them easier to track. So this could just be something simple as turnover, or you may want to measure your profit margin over a set period of time. You may want to start with smaller goals that will build to a much bigger goal later on. Now more importantly though, they must be achievable. You don't want to set those goals so unrealistically high that you just can't achieve them. This will leave you feeling frustrated and you're more likely to give up. The idea of setting goals is to motivate you and to not discourage you. It's much better to just set a few goals that are achievable with hard work than set one goal that is so unrealistically high that you are just not going to hit it anytime soon. You also need to keep them relevant. So look at the bigger picture of what you're trying to achieve, why are you setting these goals and what do you hope to get from them. Then finally you have time bound. It's easy to set goals, but if you set unrealistic timescales, they may be hard to reach. To properly measure your success and know how well you've achieved those goals, you need to have a timescale in mind and it needs to be a realistic one. Again, having timescales are really important and help keep you on track. Now there are lots of templates you can download for these SMART techniques online, but I would say just write them down, keep them somewhere really obvious and just keep checking back, seeing how you're going with them. Now another thing to bear in mind is your costings. So you need to keep an eye on your costings and you need to be mindful of exactly what you're spending. So when you're working out your profit margins, your return on investment, you want to make sure you are including everything. So not just your FBA fees, but also things like shipping, insurance, software, and then consumable items like your boxes, your poly bags, your tapes. If you don't account for all of these things, you may end up losing money. Make a note of every single purchase and be sure you're including all of these within those costings. Now it's also a good idea to check those costings on a monthly basis and see if there is any way you can bring those costs down. It may be that you can get your boxes or your poly bags from a different supplier at a slightly cheaper price. Now prices are constantly changing, so it's always worth keeping an eye out. It may only be a few pounds, but over the space of a year, this can make a huge saving. So next I wanted to talk about software. Now having the right software within your business can make all the difference to how well you do, how quickly that business grows, and how much spare time you have to do other things. Now there's lots of great softwares out there, but as a very minimum, I would recommend a good accountancy software, a good deal analyzing software, and a good repricer. So I started off originally just using Xero for my accounting, but I've recently added in A2X as well. Now what A2X does is pull all the data from the reports within Amazon, and it sends all that information across to Xero. This saves me a huge amount of time on those accounts. I really would recommend using these two softwares together. It will make your life so much easier. So Xero is currently costing me £29.64 a month, and A2X is an additional £16.20 on top. So you're looking at just under £46 for both softwares. Now, as for the deal analysing software, I'm using Buybot Pro. You've probably heard me say this many times before, but this is my favourite out of all the softwares I use. It's the one that I could not run my Amazon business without. So the app is also great for when I'm doing retail arbitrage. So I've got all those great features, I've got historical data. This software makes it so much easier for me to analyse those deals on the go and just be sure that I'm only buying great selling profitable items. Now, I have done a few retail arbitrage type videos where I'm using Buybot Go to analyse those deals. So it might be worth just taking 5 minutes, check those out, see how easy this software is to use. Now, if you can also learn to read the charts provided by Buybot Pro, this will make a huge difference to the way you source. These charts display all the data held by Amazon, and it provides you with a huge amount of information. So you can see what price that buy box is sat at over certain periods of time, you can see the number of sellers, you can see the bestseller rank, and you can see if Amazon are on the listing. Understanding what has happened to that product in the past may help you predict what could happen in the future. Now then, for my repricing software, I'm using Profit Protector Pro. Now, there are a lot of repricing softwares out there, and I have trialled some of the others, but what I love the most about PPP is the simplicity and how easy it is to use. Now, they've also got an app as well, so again, I can just reprice on the go if I need to. Now, unlike a lot of the others, this is an algorithmic-based repricer rather than a rule-based one. So you have lots of different strategies that you can choose from that will help you win the buy box, and then it'll help to push that price back up, meaning higher sales and more profits. Now, if you're just starting out, you might just want to reprice manually just for a start. As you introduce more and more ASINs, you'll soon realise just how time consuming this can be. Now, with a repricing software like PPP, you just set your minimum, set your maximum, set your strategy, and it will do all the work for you. This is going to free up a huge amount of time that you could spend elsewhere within the business. Now, the final piece of advice I would give you is to get ungated in as much as you can. Now, the more categories and the more brands you're ungated in, the more choice you'll have when it comes to sourcing. Now, do be aware though that you can only ungate in new categories, new brands, if you have a professional selling account. So if you're currently running on an individual account, you will need to upgrade that before you can ungate anything else. Now, Buybot Pro's got a great feature where with just one click, you can try and auto-ungate categories or brands. Now, this won't work in every situation, but it is always worth a try first. Now, failing that, you would need to go through the ungating process with Amazon. So that means you need to purchase a minimum of 10 units and provide Amazon with the invoice from the manufacturer or the wholesaler to get that product or brand ungated. Now, I have done a video that goes into ungating in a lot more detail, so I will pop a link to this below for you. It might be worth you just having a quick look. So I hope that has been of some help to you, but if you have any questions at all, please do pop a question below, jump in our Facebook group, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. So that is all for today, but as always, thank you very much for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, please do click that subscribe button or click that notification bell to be notified every time a new video goes live. So thank you again, and take care, and I'll hopefully see you in the next video.